hard cause I ain't let no nigga follow me. Trying to bust his head like a bro, I know he's scared. And if he got the body, you know he talking off his head. Talking off his head. Talking off his head. Talking off his head. If you put that in up, should I go in? Piece of shit like hell, yeah. And the first they hopped out. And they shoot him with their eyes, so who the fuck you trying to hit? I got bust my mouth down to the set back to my wrist. Says you wanna ask, then I'm gonna do that for my bitch. Do that for my bitch. Do this for your chick.
And my whip, YD so lit, you can blow up off his ad lil. Sipping out the baby bottle, you can percent like a Advil. You can blow up off his ad lil. Sipping out the baby bottle, you can percent like a Advil.
First of all, where we at with it right now?
What you mean?
Like where we at, like as far as
Florida project.
Right.
For certain.
How you feel him being from here affected him growing up, like as far as
shit, man, you know one thing, bro, growing up in a project where you see it all. Whether you participate in it or not, it still has an effect on you, man. So you know, we was taught some things, we learned some lessons from growing up in a project, bro. That's not really no good lessons for real. But we were forced to see them, so we were forced to adapt to a whole bunch of things that's really not, you know what I'm saying? Right. So of course, man, everybody that grew up inside of the project, everybody that grew up inside of the ghetto for real, you know what I'm saying? Because the system was set up like that.
And for y'all don't know, I'm YD, you know what I'm saying? Hold up, first I'm Devin, you know what I'm saying? I'm YD, Big L, all that good shit, Big Slime, you know what I'm saying? This is where I come from, you know what I'm saying? Right now we in the Night Wall, Florida project, you know what I'm saying? This is where it all started off, you know what I'm saying? And as a kid, I was really like in between here and in the Seven Wall, because my grandma stayed in the St. Bernard project too. So I got a little bit of the both walls, like, you know what I'm saying? So I got much love in the Seven Wall and out here too, you feel what I'm saying?
Now how was that moving from one project in one area of the city to the next?
Shit, it just was fun at that age, you know what I'm saying? Nigga around that age, nigga a kid, you got to be a kid for real, like, you know what I'm saying? Just getting to go from here to here, like, you know what I'm saying? That's around the time nigga having fun, nigga just want to sleep by my AT or something, like, you know what I'm saying? Go chill with my cousins and them and shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? But right now it's starting to show like it was good because I got a lot of good relationships with people, you heard me? Like to amen the shit I'm doing and salute me right now, like, feel what I'm saying? And know where nigga come from, the attitude and the mindset I used to have for real, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm 24 years old, like, you know what I'm saying? Mardi Gras season like in the city.
child, Devin was a typical kid, but he was a handful. Devin wanted his way. He was spoiled, and it was my fault that Devin was spoiled because I really did spoil Devin. Like nobody couldn't touch him, nobody couldn't tell him no. If you tell him he can't sleep by your house, I'm not speaking to you. Like if anything I thought you did hurt his feelings, like I had to call your phone. Like we gotta have a conversation, and I'm gonna let you know you made my baby feel this way. So, but he was a bad one. So he was one of the ones like they'll take him sometime because he always, you know, he was bad. Like he wasn't bad, he just got into a lot as a kid. So Devin just was a typical kid. He really was. He was a fun child.
Ready? How you do that, bitch? Got that, yeah, y'all straight? I'm security around this bitch.
He was also an attentive child, and you saw potential in Devin at an early age. Like I said, he rode a bike without training wheels at 2 years old. He could take your DVD apart, put it back together screw for screw. He loved to dance, loved music, loved to smile. You know, they used to pay him at DJs. My sister always did pay him at DJs to make him dance. So dancing and music's been his life. Before I even thought of a rap artist or anything. Like that was the furthest thing from my brain. I'm like, this just this kid. I'm laughing because this just a kid that that's listening to music, and I'm laughing that he's so young and he's relating to the music. So, but I never thought in a million years he would be here.
He was humble, always liked to play, and always had to stay on him about school. As he grew up and stuff, and seeing his uncle pass and stuff, that's when the tantrums and stuff and the problems came in, because he seen those things and stuff. And when he started going through crazy things out here, for as taking cards and going to jail, and me and his mama running up there to the jailhouse trying to, not get him out, but trying to talk to him while he's in there, and trying to put him on the right track.
I don't write nothing. You feel what I'm saying? Like the shit I do be talking about, I don't write it. You know what I'm saying? I just could go in there and really just talk about what I done seen, what I done been through and shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? Black Wells, hey, holla. Cash from the top, let me hear it.
Shit talking, know what I'm saying? Bitch, love. So lit, you can blow up off his ad lib, ayy. Sip it out the baby bottle, treating Percocet like the Advils, ayy. Nigga fuck, nigga move all the time, shit'll get that real, ayy. Make best friends fuck on each other, shit'll get that real, ayy. Probably cause I pull up on them compact track with the Black Wells, ayy.
But I never looked into it the way when I look back now, and I missed a lot of it right there before my eyes, because his life was telling the story from small. Like all that, he wasn't that advantaged for no reason. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Even now, this boy of mine is like a 40-year-old person. The way he talked, the way he conduct himself, the way he carry himself. Like, you have to be around Devin to really see him smile. If you see him anywhere, the look on his face is so unique, and it's not a mean mug, but it's that he's serious, and you have to be around him to know that he do smile and he is fun and he crack jokes and, like he's just a comedian in the room.
Nigga Ydtheillest right now. Y'all got this shit. Y'all see what's going on. He got it right now, man. Ydtheillest fucking Ydtheillest, man.
Hey, hide it, rapping, trapping ass nigga, you know what I'm saying? Put some with some, come get some, you know what I'm saying? Got $1 million worth of cars right now outside, nigga. I'm still in the trenches.
Ydtheillest, man. Y'all tap in the bad place, yo. Tap in.
Experiences help you grow up fast.
You think that's a good? You think that's a good or bad thing? Let's stop right here.
Man, I'ma say this right here. I'ma say it's bad in the sense to where, as a young kid, bro, there's a lot of things that we may go through or things that we may participate in that we can't really appreciate. Your mind don't fully develop till you're 25 for real. You know what I'm saying? That's why you don't find niggas from 25 or 28 just jumping off the porch. You know, they do that when they was young, when they're impressionable. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of decisions that we make in life as young kids, we think that we kind of like fully develop, fully man, but we don't really be for real. Because we can't really understand and really appreciate that shit for real.
Facts. Because one thing people always say about YD, anybody you meet, they'll be like, they're so surprised at how humble he is and how
now
much.
At this point.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Because he wasn't. And Devin, I think he had an anger in him.
So you think, it's kind of like a two-part question. Do you think that was the moment where you stopped being like a kid, or do you ever felt like you had a real childhood?
I could say like, even before like my childhood wasn't normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to school and just seen some shit I know for sure nobody in school just saw. You know what I'm saying? Like, saw in their life for real. You know what I'm saying? So, I never really had a kid mom. Like, my mom would tell you, like, I ain't never really had no kid mom. I always could think, like, you know what I'm saying, about my age and, like, I always just smart, bro. Like, had a brain, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't let my shit go to waste. Like, and it's still to this day, like, I'm always thinking. Like, I'm never not thinking. You feel what I'm saying? Because I be around people. Like, you know the vibe, I mean, we live in like, niggas can't think past go. You know what I'm saying? Past the end of the day. So that's part of the reason why I think. Like, ain't nothing wrong with thinking.
Take out why you fucking not. Separate me. Ball first. We outside. That's it. Hey, I'll go by now. Ydtheillest. Trying to nigga, you know what I'm saying? Put some with some, come get some, you know what I'm saying? Run that shit, we good.
Up until for the robbery, Devin was 11 years old. I can remember this day like yesterday. Devin had on light blue shorts, a tank top. It was navy blue with red in it, and I think it was white. Yeah, because we was coming from the 4th of July. His birthday is in August, and Devin had got some money, and he went to the store. It's on France and France and Valerie. And he went to get him some ice cream, and I don't remember if he had the money still pinned on him. I think we took it off, but he had so much junk, and somebody robbed him out of it. So that was the first instant. And then he did have another episode. He saw his Uncle Merle get killed, so all that came into play. You know, like he saw his Uncle Merle get killed. You know, he was right there.
What age was he?
I can't remember what age was Devin. Devin had to be like, excuse me, like 14, I believe. I think he was like 14 or 15 when he saw his Uncle Merle get killed. But all that came into play with, you know, the angry Devin and and how he was and where his anger came from, and he never wanted to feel that pain again. You know, and I hear that in his music. Like, he don't want to feel that. And if you can listen to his songs, he speak about Black to God a lot. You know, because he was an inspiration in his life. You know, he looked up to him. He was my brother-in-law, but he was a father figure to Devin. So that affected him a lot as well.
About how you felt when Black died.
Shit, I still be talking about how I feel when Black died. I say Black name and down there every song I make for real.
And that was your father figure for real?
Yeah, for real. My dad was gone. What's down with y'all? Where y'all need that? y'all Shankland brothers, huh?
Yeah.
Y'all be listening to that music?
Yeah.
What song you know?
They come out with the Drake.
You know it's good. I'm gonna get up with y'all though. Y'all be careful here. Black was like everything. That's who showed me everything. That's why I got to see this shit hands on from. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was in the hood with real millionaires and real killers. You know what I'm saying? Like, no plan type shit for real. Like, so growing up, I got to see a lot of shit what money do to people earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's give me the mind state that I'm in right now. Like, I don't think I ever could get big headed. You feel what I'm saying? Because I really know how the struggle feel. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm speaking for them type of people. And Black was the prime definition of that. Like, he just wanted to take care. Like, this wasn't no flashing nigga. This nigga got $1 million+ for real. Like, come outside your Bowls with the Reeboks, you know what I'm saying? Move around these same streets that I'm moving on. That was a big influence, losing him. Like, and not only losing him, being there to watch him. You know what I'm saying? Watch the situation happen and shit. So that really opened my eyes and showed me, like, man, I gotta make a purpose out here, cause I gotta leave my mark. I don't really got a point to prove unless you come up to me. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's good or bad, I got a point to prove to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And whatever I do, it come from my heart, whether it's good or bad, because of Black. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw him, a good nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Did everything he was supposed to do. Try the best to make out any situation. Try to make it better than what it was. You know what I'm saying? For anybody. So losing him really, like, affected me. Made me who I am today. Well, for y'all that don't know, my Uncle Merle, R.I.P. Black to God, this is his big brother. You feel what I'm saying? So them conversations always did stick with me and my cousin Nick and Merle, and cause you know we really the last oldest boys. You feel what I'm saying? Like, they got to churn after us, but you know the ones that got to see what really going on out here. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So you brought up Black. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel that affected him when he died?
Man, I know it affected everybody. Him, it affected the whole family. It affected me. You know,
city.
The whole city.
The whole nine.
Me just being in prison for real. You know what I'm saying? I was able to see it from a view that nobody ain't really see it from. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew dude really like held everybody down for real. So I was able to feel that impact. Because now everybody looking for somebody to go to for advice or something. I was that person. You know what I'm saying? I'm that person that's talking to everybody, that's hearing all the point of view, that's hearing everything. And I really saw it for real. He used to always tell me, but I had a first-hand chance to really see it for real when he got killed. Shit was crazy.
You think he's misunderstood when he was young?
Yeah, and some part of the way he was and stuff. And I understand that he had to show, you know, people tried him, you know, and I understand he had to let them know that, you know, he not gonna let nobody mess over him and stuff. If you know, because he's humble. He mostly hung with his cousins. When he started hanging with other guys, it's like when he got 16, 17, 18 and all that, that's when he started wilding out and stuff. But mainly it was just his cousins he was hanging with. And once he started wilding out, he started doing crazy things, and he went to jail, but he learned. And by me preaching to him and his mama preaching to him, he learned more so. And you know, you have to sit down sometime and talk to your children and see what is on their mind and what they are going through. In order for you to understand what he's going through, you have to sit down there and talk to him and see what's bothering him. Like, for instance, I know his mama know what was bothering him. What was bothering him when he seen his uncle, you know, just being there, seeing him get killed, you know, took a total effect on him. And he just got that I didn't give up attitude after that.
So was his uncle like his father figure?
Yes.
So
yes.
Who was he? Was he that's Black, right?
Yeah.
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 So who is he?
He is my grandson father. My youngest daughter, oldest son father.
Yeah.
And he always did hang with his uncle and his cousin, which is his cousin daddy. He always hung with them, and you know, he was like a role model to him too and stuff. To be honest with you, he was the one that really pushed them to be where he at today. You see what I'm saying? Far as rapping, and you know, when he rap, some of the things he rap is what he been through. You know, he didn't have the best of things, but he had things. You know, he didn't have the best of life all the time, which none of us did. You see what I'm saying? But he appreciated. He appreciated. Just like I say, you know, when you mingle with the wrong people, you're going to do wrong things. Like a follower.
All that played into him being angry.
Like, as he growed up, like, when Devin growed up, like, to me, he went to man Devin. You know, so he went from little boy Devin to big boy Devin. Now he man Devin at 15 years old. You know, because now he know, you know, he saw, you know, different things that kids shouldn't see at his age. So he was man Devin at that point. And I think that's when my word got like 10 times intense. You know, because I know I was nothing I could do to take that pain away. And I didn't know what he was thinking. And he will not let you in his brain. You know, so for a long time I just had to watch him, you know, and see what was transpiring before my eyes, you know, versus asking him. Because if you, Devin, what's going on? You want nothing? Nothing. That was always the answer. Like, so he not going to let you in his brain, I guess, in the moment. He didn't want to be told right, you know, the right thing to do about the situation or whatever. He wants to lock whatever he was thinking in his brain, but the look on his face made me know it wasn't nothing good, you know. So I prayed a lot. Like, I prayed a lot. I balled up a lot. I screamed a lot.
And stuff. But as he got older and stuff, and then another thing when Katrina came, you know, that, you know, his uncle got killed after Katrina. But when Katrina came, that he was young, that was a little scary thing for him too. And stuff, going to different schools that he don't know nobody. You see what I'm saying? Staying in a state where he don't know nobody, where he can't get around. He's just around family and some of the people that was around, living in the area where we was living at before Katrina.
So after that, I ended up having to go to school for Devin. That's when I found out he was Big Devin. And Devin was in trouble. So I asked him, I was like, do you know how to protect yourself if, you know, anything was to happen? And he said, yeah. So that let me know that he was no longer a kid, that he had been leveled up.
Right.
So that's where it all started at.
Stack, yo, no, man, right quick, hey, dripping in my cream, hey, queen, look at me, eat you, cost a stack, yo, I ain't more man, big shit talker, catch me after eat you, cost a stack, yeah, cost a stack, yeah, get me, nigga, what man, yeah, catch me at the same spot, eat you, cost a stack, yeah, I'm getting no damage. I'm getting damage. Stamina. Let me right quick.
So one of the things that popped up a lot when I was interviewing your mom and grandma was how the way that Katrina affected you as a child.
Yeah, because I was really like lost. You know what I'm saying? My mom was going through what she was going through, so we living with my grandma and shit here. So around that time, I'm lost as a kid. My dad wasn't in my life since I was 2 years old. You know? Like, my dad came home when I was like 12, going on 13. So around that time, it really did affect me because I never knew what a home felt like. You know what I'm saying? And we just going through this situation. I ain't even know what a home felt like for real. But my Dukes, Grams held it down for sure. Like, I love them. That's my heart for real. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So did y'all evacuate for the storm or y'all
Yeah,
stayed?
we evacuated. Well, we stayed and we was rescued. So we didn't leave for the storm. No, I'm not gonna say we stayed and we got. I think it was maybe 3 or 4 days after. You know, but the rage and the fear that it had him with, like, he was dealing with that in the inside. Right. You know, but I can't force it out of him and I can't make him. He wasn't able to explain how he felt. It just was a feeling that he couldn't explain. And when he matured enough to be able to tell me that he, you know, what he was feeling and what he was going through, then I could meet him right there where he at. You know, because as long as he was in that rage, and I didn't know what the rage was for, and I'm being a parent because you ranting and you raging, so I'm chastising you, you know, and if had I known what the ranting and raging was for, it could have went different.
Right.
Me chastising him also made him, feel like, I guess in a sense, made him angry. So I'm gonna say that. That's where I thought the anger came from. Because it's like he feeling this type of way. He expected me to know.
Right.
As a parent, he expected me to know, and because I didn't know, it felt like the rant and the rage was at me. So I had to calm it down the best way I knew how, and that was to bust his behind.
Right. It's crazy you say that because, E. Buckles just dropped a documentary called Katrina Babies where they talk about basically how the storm affected a lot of kids, you know what I'm saying? So I like that you said that. And so knowing that and being a parent, you know what I'm saying, how did you feel raising a son in New Orleans? You know what I'm saying?
I didn't have a fear of raising a son in New Orleans. Actually, I have 2 other sons.
Right.
I didn't have a fear of raising my kids in New Orleans. I had a fear for my kids. I was overprotective.
Right.
So it wasn't a New Orleans thing and where they live thing. It was me, the overall thinking that what if,
right.
And New Orleans wasn't half as bad, as it is now. But that always a fear. As a mother,
right.
I had a fear, but I knew what it meant when they say, the streets don't love you. When my son grew up, like when Devin was from a boy to a man, where now I can protect myself. Now I can, I could take care of myself, and I know this, and I like that. That's when it fit. That's when I knew, like the streets really never loved nobody. So.
Right.
Time in Houston, he was young. I could say he had to be either 8 or 9. He had to be about 8 or 9. He was born in 98. So
Like
he
8.
2005.
Because I think I was born in 95. I think I just turned 10 September 6th.
So he had to be maybe
like 7, 8.
7, 8 years old. So, and that's, that was like in Houston, you going to school where when he was down here going to school, it was like mostly blacks. You see what I'm saying? But out there in Texas, you going to school with mixtures. You see what I'm saying? Black and white. And that he was not familiar with.
That was new to him.
Yeah, that was new to him, leaving from one school out of his hometown, going to another school in another hometown, and not having those friends. He had his cousin, but not having those young friends that he used to have when he was coming up and stuff. So that took a lot of effect on him, to the point where, he had to have counseling and stuff. And then would put icing on a cake when he came back home. It was that when his uncle got killed. So that even made everything even worse, to the point where he was jumping up out his sleep, sweating, popping sweat and looking around and carrying on, and he was just doing all kind of things. And I used to tell him to calm down, try to do something, to say something to make him laugh, or he'll come in there and try to make me laugh at something, to do some old stupid dance, or grandma, what you hollering for, or why you doing all that screaming. And I'm like, because I keep telling you the same thing and you're not listening at me, and he had some good times.
Why do you think he had anger in him?
I don't know. I think Katrina, I'm going to say Katrina really traumatized him. Like, he was so scared, like, he would watch the news for rain. And to know that for them to say it was going to rain, they have a heavy rain, like, everything became a hurricane to him. And even though it was a physical storm for us, he wasn't able to open up and tell me that internal storm he was having. Because that's why he could relate to the two. He could relate. He was feeling that rage and that intensity and that catastrophe within. So, but he wasn't able to express that then. But now, like, me and Devin could talk about anything. He gonna talk to me about anything.
What did you live in the Florida projects too?
No, I was still in the St. Bernard. I lived in the Florida project a little while with my baby girl until the St. Bernard, but that's where she was staying, in the St. Bernard
With you.
with me.
That makes sense.
Let me give me some space. Give me some space. Let me get in the ring. Let me get in the ring. Let me walk to the ring. Back up. Watch this. Watch this. Oh, that nigga all fast. I'm with all that. And I did your clothes. I did 20 in a month, another 30 came in from pushing up. Not too many people that could come pull up to my crib. Man, I love your ass to death if I show you where I live. My mama said I'm stupid, spend a dime up in there. Told some shit that sweeping my up your whole block. I told the plug I don't want half, I want the whole block.
I couldn't do nothing about Devin. I moved away and went to Texas. And I took my other two sons. Devin, sister is older than him and Devin, but they was of legal age to make their own decisions. So, but I moved thinking that he would come with me. That by him being my son, that, I gotta go where my mama go. But I also left to save his other two brothers. Like, I didn't want them to witness that. I have to go through that, because they were humble, so I don't want the streets to force my kids to, and I'm not talking down on New Orleans when I say this, I don't want the streets to force my kids to be gangsters.
Right.
Because you can only let something happen to you so many times, you see what I'm saying? And then you go from the victim to the perpetrator.
Fact, because you just said that, when he got robbed as a child, that changed something to him.
So I didn't want that, so I took my last two kids and I just up and left. I put what I could fit in my car and I left.
So,
hoping Devin will come with me, but...
Is Devin the oldest?
Devin is my oldest son. Devin has a sister, Tijuana. She's older.
She's the oldest?
She's the oldest child.
I'm buff. That's who I am. I'm buff better. And, just always trying to be a positive influence in his life.
And you his uncle?
Yeah, I'm his uncle, bro. I did 27 and a half years in prison.
Was you in jail when he was born?
Yeah.
When he was born, how did you feel about him being a young black man in New Orleans and coming up where he came up from?
Oh, man, I knew that shit was crazy. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like fear for all of them, bro. Cause they're young. They don't really know what's happening. Like, I know what's up for real. You know what I'm saying? So, I know one thing, bro. It's easy to lose your life when you don't really understand what's going on, man.
Facts.
It's easy to get caught up in all kind of shit. They really trick you out your life. You're a kid, you don't really know what's going on. You go to school, they ain't really giving you the real education for real. You know what I'm saying?
So what was some advice that you gave him?
Really to always listen. You know what I'm saying? That's all I used to always tell all of them, man. Just listen. Listen and pay attention and do your own thing and be your own person. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are influenced by things, and the things that they're influenced by, they don't even understand what they are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you listen and pay attention, then a lot of that shit, it's gonna really just bounce off the wall, because it ain't gonna really make sense. Yeah. So, so my thing was always to look, bro, pay attention to what's going on. Listen. You know what I'm saying? Ask for advice.
So, I clamped down on tough love for Devin. My tough love was like I didn't give in to Devin. Like, you will not intimidate me to make me agree, with your funky attitude and your misbehaving. Like, I'm gonna win the battle. And I wouldn't say I lost the battle, but I allowed him. I knew experience had to be his best teacher. So Devin, he ended up staying with my mom for a while because when he got so bad and he felt like he didn't want to listen, he came by my mom, and she spoiled him again. So he was spoiled again. So but Devin went to jail. He did a year in jail, and I guess over time the thinking, that's when we always say I love you at the end of every conversation, but I always told him, like, I can't protect you from everything and I can't watch you everywhere you go, but this is the thing. I'm not rich. I have 3 other kids. I'm not joking with you. I don't have to accept phone calls from you, and I'm not visiting you. They sentenced you. They didn't sentence me. And that was the hardest thing I ever could tell to my child. But it was a lesson he had to learn. You know, because as long as he knew I would put money on the phone, but my daughter did, you know, and it didn't help, but it made him, I guess, it did help, because even though she did, it wasn't coming from me. You know, I'm like, I'm not sitting by my phone. I'm not waiting on you to call. Don't expect me to come see you, and I'm not rich, so you know I'm not about to be playing that money on my book stuff. You know, so I want you to, everything you do have consequences, whether it's good or bad. So I allowed Devin, you know, to go through his phase, you know, and he saw like what Mama was saying all along was right.
When you heard that he went to jail, what was your reaction?
I was like, man, this shit crazy. Really, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm already in prison. So I used to always have this phrase. I used to tell all my nephews, look, let me do this bid for you. Meaning that, man, look, you ain't got to do this bid. Let me do it. Check my story out. You ain't got to live this shit to really understand how real it is. I'm already living it. You know, check my experience out. Take my experience and take that with you. You know, so it really like fucked me up. I'm like, what this man doing in jail? But I also, at the same time, I know how shit is on the street for real.
And in the meantime, like, we seeing this shit hands on too. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was always, wasn't even like an uncle conversation. It's on some big bro shit like that. I'm gonna give it to you right there for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no corners being cut like.
Knowing you could do wrong for so long and you wind up getting caught. So if I say, oh, he's selling drugs, you see what I'm saying? If you're selling drugs, have sense enough to put you some money on the side for your lawyer, for your canteen, for whatever kind of tennis or shoes you want to put on up there. Have that money, you know, to put on your books and stuff. Because I'm not going to do it. I'm definitely not going to do it. You know, I'll run a code with you. And if they give you time, I love you. You know what I'm saying? I love you, but I try to tell you. So if you can't take it from me, take heed from me. What I'm telling you, you got to experience that on your own.
Before you even get to that point.
Yeah.
If you listen before you even get to that point.
Yeah, you know, so I'm not trying to send you to jail. I'm trying to keep you out of jail. Because the same thing going on out here in this world today, trust me, is in the jailhouse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and from that point on, like, it's nothing. Like, I'm gonna get, it's easy, you know, for me to get inside his brain because I don't have to work. You know, if I'm having this suspense, I talk to him a lot. You know, I always let him know how proud I am of him. Always tell him I love him. And even if he don't answer, he gonna see I called his phone. You know, so I pray for him. I just pray. That's the best thing I can do for my son. You know, because I pray that God protect him because the level that he's at now, like the world didn't see him now. You know, because I wasn't rich. Like, my kids didn't experience the sweet 16s and the cars when he graduated high school. So the world didn't see him at the level he is now. So when I say, you know, I'm proud, that's what I mean. When you know, overall is what I'm saying. Like, I'm proud of my son. Like, and I pray that God don't ever take this moment away from him. Just heighten it, you know, because I watch people looking at the now Devin. I watch his struggles. He had some pretty rough days, you know, in the mind, you know, that nobody ain't know about. So to see him, and I tell him all the time, talk your shit, son, you know, and I mean it from the depths of my heart. Like anything.
Hey, YD so lit you could blow up off his ad-libs. Hey, sipping out the baby bottles, you could process like the Advils. Hey, catch me at the ad-lib. YD so lit you could blow up off his ad-libs. YD so lit you could blow up off his ad-libs. Sipping on the baby bottle. YD so lit you could blow up off his ad-libs. Hey, sipping out the baby bottles, you could process like the Advils.
I already know. I always, like I said, every time I got a chance to talk to him, you know, these little niggas on the streets, you know, they doing their thing, but at the same time, I always try to, you know, catch him and talk to him. And my advice was the same thing, bruh. Look, bruh, stop, think. Pay attention to what's going on for real, man. See what's happening for real. Be your own person. Because a lot of times, bro, you follow behind people, you wind up in situations. But when you're your own person, then you can understand the situations that you fell in. You know what I'm saying? So that's always my thing, man. That was always my thing to him.
Y'all hearing this from one of them, you know what I'm saying? A person that ain't used to think for real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
another thing, like, you
Right,
used to
because I
think.
ain't do no thinking for
Yeah,
real.
had no understanding at a point in time for real.
But boy, see now, it always had I known. So my thing was always, look, don't give nobody else that excuse. Let them know. So ain't no such thing as had you known, nigga. You know.
Right.
I'm gonna
How did you feel about him being a young black man growing up in New Orleans? You know what I'm saying, with New Orleans being the place that it is.
Scared.
Scared.
Scared for him. Scared, not just for him, for all of them. You know, scared because there's so much going on out here. And just like I said, you know, you trying to be, you become a rapper, and most things you hear on TV is rappers getting killed. You know, they left their hometown to go way out there and to make something out themselves, and they come home to visit their family, and boom, bam, bow, they gone. You see what I'm saying? And I fear that a lot and stuff. Even if I watch the news or someone will call and tell me, you know, this person, and the first thing pop to my mind is him, and I'll go to calling, which you don't answer his phone. I'll go to calling, and I'll call his mama where he's at, where this one at, where that one at, and stuff. And once I find out they inside somewhere, you know, not out there and stuff, I'll be all right.
So, what would be some advice you would give to like some parents that are raising a child in New Orleans, either like Devin, maybe not like Devin, but just they going through having to figure out their child and be the best parent they care for 'em?
The advice I would give them: you just you get there and you try to see what's going on with them. Try to talk to them and find out what's going on with them. What are their thoughts? You know, and why do they do some of the things they do? You know, if they're lacking of this or lacking of that, or I'm not doing enough for you, or I'm not able to do enough. Because, you know, a lot of children get out there and do things because their parents, they see other children with things, and they want those things them other children have, but their parents not able to give them everything other children have. So the advice I would give a parent, you know, you can't keep up with them 24/7, but you could sit down and talk to them and find out what's going through their head, what they're thinking about, how they feel in this world of dead, all the stuff that's going on out here, if they're afraid or if they're not afraid, or, you know, or either, you know, do they want to move to another environment, or want to stay here, or do better for themselves. You know, you have to sit down there and communicate with your children, because if you don't communicate with them, you ain't going to never know what's going on with them. You would never know what's going on with them. You would sit down there and wonder, I wonder why he's doing this, I wonder why he's doing that. Sit down and talk to them and ask them the reason why they're doing what they're doing. And once they tell you the reason why they're doing what you're doing, you know what you have to do to stop him from doing what he doing. You see what I'm saying? You can't watch him 24/7, no, because they're grown. You can't watch them 24/7, and it's not going to tell you they're going to tell you they're going this place, but they wind up 3 or 4 other places and not at that place there. You always sit down and tell them, watch your surroundings. You know, don't have all these people crowded around you, because everybody is not your friend. Everybody is not your friend. And far as the mothers out here and carrying on, you just don't talk to your sons, you talk to your daughters too. You know, you have to, especially if they don't have that, the boys, they don't have that male role model in their life. You see what I'm saying? When a parent is just one parent trying to raise a son, you know, or boys, period, in a household, it's hard for a woman to get there and raise a boy. You could raise them to the best of your knowledge and make some kind of, think you're making some kind of progress, and you may be making some kind of progress, but 9 out of 10, you may not, because they need that role model. And some children act up the way they act up because parents divorcing, they don't have their daddy in their life. You see what I'm saying? And it's, as far as a father, it's not about buying. It's the quality time that you have to have with your children, and that's what they love. That's what children want. They want quality time with their parent. You know, you want. I might be a mother, want to go out there and buck jump, you know, and stuff, and not pay attention to my children and stuff. So when my children out there acting up and doing what they're doing, is because I'm not giving them that attention that they're looking for, and they go seek it other places. And when they seek it other places, you can't tell him what to do if I can't tell him what to do. You see what I'm saying? You can't talk to my child. You can't talk to my grandchildren, because you might not tell them what I'm going to tell him. I'm going to try to tell them right from wrong. You know, you might tell them something the opposite, you know, and he don't need to be confused. You know, oh, well, Grandma, this one said that. Well, the hell with that one said, I'm your grandma, you listen to what I say and your mama say. Because we ain't going to lead you wrong.
Mommy, last, I catch you around, throw off the glass. What are you going for, catch you around the glass, throw off the glass, yo, homie don't love you, why? Throw a cash, catch you don't love you, nigga, I send throw a cash,
Before music came into play, what did you think he'd grow up to be? What did you think he'd become?
I didn't question what he would become, but I always knew what I wouldn't allow him to become. How much I would protect him.
I like that.
And what I didn't want him to become. What he became was what's gonna always be his choice. But what I wanted him not to become is it was my work. I had to do that. So he had a job of choosing who he wanted to be, and I had a job of making sure he don't come this person that I don't want him to be. So that's what I was.
So would you say that you instilled a lot of values and principles in him?
Like, it wasn't just me. Like, my mom helped me with my son a lot. Like, I really had a village. Like, I had my sisters, you know, my mom, you know, and even a few friends. Like, I wasn't alone in this fight. You see what I'm saying? He had both grandparents, so he had a lot of people to, you know, like that put the ingredients in the pot, you know. But I had to stick it out. You know, I had to stick it out through all phases. I couldn't jump off, you know, when the water got hot. You know, I had to really get on board and stay there. So even though everybody was around, you know, but it gets frustrating. But I know even in frustration, I can't move. You know, like I'm, you know, it's like he gonna do better, or I'm gonna die trying to make him better.
Right.
And that's just where I'm at with that.
Right. Cause
he lived with me practically most of his life, and I stood on him, you know, practically most of his life. And when when I get on him, I fuss at him. I try to lead him the right way, and I try to be there for him to encourage him to do better and stuff. And then once, you know, he had made his baby and things and carrying on, you know, he started calming down and trying to live, you know, his life. And I tell him trouble is easy to get into and it's hard to get out of. And you got to watch your surroundings, because everybody that you think is your friend is not your friend. You know, because they had people you could be with be there to set you up. And, you know, and they're going to have people out here hating on you because you're trying to better your life. They thinking you changing towards them and carrying on. But for his childhood life.
My advice to him is to always pay attention. Same thing, bro. Pay attention to what's going on, bro. Look, you know how a lot of times we were saying I should have followed my first mind? We really should have. Because our first mind really be our foresight for real. You know what I'm saying? If somebody is giving you something, that's what they mean. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, always pay attention, bro. Because guess what? People can only hide from you when they know you're watching. See, when they don't know you're watching, they're going to show you who they are for real. So, you know, and that applies to every situation, bro. Because believe me, before anybody do anything, they're going to test you and they're going to try you out. But if you ain't paying attention and they know you sleep, they're going to stay doing the same. But if they know you woke for real, then they ain't going to try. So my advice is always, man, pay attention, man. to everybody and everything.
You know, sometimes they have to get locked up in order for them to face reality. You know, to come out here and to face reality. This is, you know, if you get locked up and they say you got 3 years, you have 3 years to get your damn mind together. 3 years. And if you don't get your mind together in 3 years, it's because what you're doing is what you want to do. So it don't make no sense of me talking to you or nobody else talking to you because you want to do what you want to do.
Because after a certain point, it's the decisions you make.
Yeah, yeah. So, but I always say, you know, just like I say, the parents don't uphold your children in their wrong. You see what I'm saying? If you know they out here doing anything wrong, you know, sit there and talk to them.
So at what age? Because one of my question was gonna be, what age did you know that he was special? But it seemed like you are like.
Actually, even with him doing the music, like liking music and dancing as a kid, I didn't see that until, to be honest, it's like a few years ago. Yeah. Because even though I knew he was going in the studio, like I actually counted Devin's songs on Apple Music when he dropped this new album, Separate Me. That Devin had over 100 songs on Apple Play. You know, so when I saw when he first started out, but I never was a fan of rap, so I never really like was into it. And to be honest with you, it was a few years ago when I felt it in my heart, like somebody, you know, something's changed about him. So yeah. So as I'm gonna say this, as it's been he's making the world out of believer. It's not that I didn't believe in him, but I just didn't look into it as much.
Right.
So I'm along that way with the world.
Right, because you wasn't a fan of rap music.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of rap music at all. So now that I see it in my son, even at this level, like I'm telling my heart smiles because one thing he wouldn't do is give up. If he could beat sticks on your head to make music, he don't beat sticks on your head to make music. So he ain't gave up, and to see him at this level, like he is a big deal. Like without the deal, he's a big deal to me. So actually my favorite rapper. So.
How does it feel to be looked up to by young kids in the city? And do you feel like you have a responsibility to, you know what I'm saying, give them some type of hope?
Shit, fucking right. Like sometimes I feel like, man, I ain't nobody to look up to. You know what I'm saying? But shit, I'm somebody to look up to for sure. Cause I feel like if a kid come ask me a question, I'm gonna tell him the truth. You feel what I'm saying? Like I got kids myself. Like I got 2 little boys. You feel what I'm saying? So if a child come ask me something, I ain't about to fabricate it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they got people who really go through shit and gotta make it home to their kids and make it look like, man, there's rainbows and unicorns and superheroes and, you know what I'm saying? Like, not saying they ain't supposed to have a kid life at all, but I feel like a kid should look up to me because I'm coming from where you coming from and the stuff that you saying and making the best out of the situation to be somebody and leave my mark while I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? I had an interview yesterday. I just was telling them boys about when I was younger and shit. Remember I call you on the phone, you like, man, them niggas worrying about that. They should be worrying about this right here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was just chopping it up with an interview yesterday. Telling the boy like, man, my uncle just came home, letting him know what you got going and shit like that. And just part of the story, shit that I knew, you feel what I'm saying?
Right. You know, like I was telling you from the beginning, like, you know, he was like, when I first heard him, I was like, man, you really can do something with that shit for real. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, homie and them had their little motion going on, and I'm steady telling them, look, homie the one. You know what I'm saying? But by him being so young, and them not really understanding, they can't see like I can see. I can really see for real. I really fuck with that. So I really know. When I see terror, I can see it off the duck. So I'm really like, look, this one y'all supposed to really like invest in for real.
And you heard about him when you was in jail?
Yeah, no, I heard him.
You heard him.
Yeah, I heard him. He spit for me. I ain't knew he could spit at first.
Very proud of what he's doing now. I'm serious.
I can tell you couldn't even wait.
I am so happy, and my other grandchildren, they just play his music. I was in Family Dollar one day, and a guy had it on his phone. I said, "That's YD." He said, "Yeah." I said, "That's my grandbaby. That's my grandbaby." And stop it. I said, "That's right, dude." I call him. I said, "That's right, dude." I am very much proud of him because he comes from a long ways. And he's doing very, very good. He spend time with his kids when he can, because he always in the studio and stuff. But I am so proud of him, and I want to see him get to the top. I want to see him go beyond and above and beyond. You see, I want the world to know my grandbaby. I mean the world, because guess what? He struggled. But that struggle he went through brought him right where he at today.
Sometimes you gotta go through that struggle.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta crawl for your walk.
Man, I love what he's doing now. I always told him, man, you got it for real. You know what I'm saying?
Call at the right time. It might be a time I'm feeling like, man, fuck rap. You know what I'm saying? He'll call, yeah, bro, I like what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even though I don't check in, he gonna check in. Like,
right.
Make sure you give me that call and let me know, like, yeah, what you're doing right, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right, because I always want him to know and to understand the gift that he got, bro, is really a blessing for real. You know what I'm saying? And some people take it for granted. But, I just always try to let him know that, bro. Like, you really got what it takes for real. You know what I'm saying? And always try to encourage him on that level right there.
So yeah, I think it was out there in Baton Rouge, and I'm like that. That's him, couldn't wait till he get on the stage, and I'm like, I'm bucking with him, baby. I'm bucking with him. I just love it. I love the person that he is now. I really do. I love the person that I loved him then, but I love him even more now that he's getting to where he always wanted to be. And I'm proud of him. And he got all them little girls up there bucking all all on him. Yeah, that's right. That's my grandbaby, Ydtheillest.
Devin was like, he was my, like, Devin's the Menace. Like, Dennis the Menace, he was my Devin the Menace. So
you see what I'm saying? If he come on, grandma, you got $20. Yeah, here. What you gonna do with it? I'm gonna give him something to eat. He used to take my money, not take it. I used to give it to him, and I send him to the store, tell him bring my change back. I never did get no change. I never did get no change from him. Where my change at? Oh, I bought such and such and such of this. All right.
I'm pretty sure he can reimburse you for all that change now.
But I'm just happy where he at today, and hoping he could be strong enough to stay where he at, or either go a little further and stuff. All I'll ask him to do is, chill, stay humble, and watch your surroundings, and always pray.
Hey, well, we good. We can end it right there.